On Saturday, local community members were able to welcome home a World War II veteran after 82 years.
Newswatch's Matt Williamson has more on why this reunion was so special for one family.
It had all the marks of a military funeral.
Just being here in the cemetery, it just kind of floors you. You know, it's like, that's patriotism.
And it took a community effort.
We had 6 pickup trucks loaded with 72 flags each, and every truck had a different area along the route of the funeral home we'll be bringing Mr. Brown back to.
But this funeral was decades in the making. On December 7, 1941, Arcola native electrician's mate 3rd class Charles Brown was killed in the Pearl Harbor attack. His remains could not be identified.
My grandmother, before she was deceased, contributed DNA samples to help get Charles identified. So this has been going on in our family for over 2 decades at least.
But in recent years, military personnel worked to change that.
He was buried as part of the National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific out in Hawaii. And then through the Department of Defense program, they've identified his remains, and so he's being buried here today.
On Saturday morning, Brown was finally laid to rest in his hometown.
It's different in that it gets full military honors, so you'll have an admiral or a general when they do full military honors. You'll have a firing party that'll do a 3-volley gun salute.
Ready! Hey! Fire!
It's a pretty good honor. It's history in this little town, and people need to learn about this.
We never leave any sailor, any soldier, anyone behind.
He's surrounded by family members here, and this is where he belongs after 82 years.
In Arcola, I'm Matt Williamson for WEIU Newswatch.
Another military burial is planned in June for Private Harold Poulter of Charleston. Officials with the Department of Defense say Poulter was killed during fighting in 1945, but when his remains were found years later in Germany, they couldn't be identified and were interred at a military cemetery in North Africa. In 2022, military officials exhumed those remains for testing, and this year they have identified them as those of Private Poulter.